morning, everyone. I am Arvinder Kaur, the President of Rotary Club of Chandigarh. I welcome you all over here to this literary festival. We have here the celebrated poetesses on Haiku. Welcome to you all. It is our honor to have with us today our chief guest of the day, Mrs. Ramesh, the trailblazer of Haiku poetry in India, and her other associates, Mrs. Kashiana Singh, Arvinder Kaur, Muskaan Ahuja, Vandana and our Amon Rotarian Neena. Hey, dancer, Buddha. Buddha. Thank you very much. We welcome the guests and our Rotarian friends to this August gathering, August event. So I invite our Rotarian Neena Singh to introduce the chief guest of the day, Mrs. Ramesh.
I really look at today's poetic experience as a session full of very sensitive perceptions. And with 6 of India's celebrated haiku poetesses, including our senior club member, most loved, past President Neena Singh. I have the privilege of introducing Kala, a name that itself means talent. Kala Ramesh is the founder and creative director of Triveni Haikai India, the founder and managing editor of Haiku Katha Journal, and was an external faculty member of Symbiosis International University, Pune, for a 60-hour Haikai course. This was the first of its kind of initiative in Haikai in India. She has contributed immensely in bringing haiku into our everyday life and spaces. She has organized 8 Haikai Utsavs and initiated several projects for the general public. Kala is an author of 3 print books of loads of awesome haiku. We look forward to the program as our guest of honor, Kala, takes over as the master of ceremonies today. Welcome.
A very warm welcome to everybody here. A good morning.
Good morning.
A cold morning, I would say.
Warm.
Okay, warm inside, yes. Well, I've been asked to talk about haiku. Haiku is my passion. It's been my passion for the last 19 years. I don't think it's going to let me go for some more years now. So what is haiku? Haiku is a Japanese word. It comes from Japan. It's a Japanese art form. Hai means, I would say, a mild humor. And ku means verse. So does it mean it's a joke that you laugh loud? No. It just means that every time when I started, I used to go for a walk. I used to think, how did that person write so much? Because in my mind, I'm writing a haiku. And it goes like a Ramayana. It goes on. I don't know how to cut short. I don't know how to bring it, make it brief, make it concise, to tell a story. And then I come and quickly switch on the computer and then go back and read that poem. Because in 2005, I was almost alone. We didn't have a group like this. We didn't have Facebook, and then we didn't have associations, and I couldn't afford a book. They were all very expensive from Amazon. So with the result, you study that poem and you say in 7 words, 8 words, how can so much be said? And then you go deeper and deeper, and then you know there is craft in haiku. In any art form, there should be craft. But the the most beautiful thing about haiku is the craft doesn't show. It just shows a simple way of writing that even a 6-year-old will understand, will be able to read the poem. He'll have that much vocabulary, the child, but might not understand. The understanding is where the haiku comes in for the adult, where it weaves in layers and layers of meaning. So, what is haiku then? Haiku is one poem that has defied definition. Loads and loads, books and books have been written, and no one ever coincides about the definition. Everyone has a different way of defining haiku, and that gives us a lot of freedom to do what we want. Because there's no clean walls and we're not bound by it. But we do have rules, we do have regulations. The two beautiful things about haiku that we have is the break, the cut. So with the cut, what we do, we have two images in 6 words, 7 words. We have 2 images, 2 clear images, and one is clear, there's a cut, and then the second image comes. So when they are juxtaposed with each other, the poem opens out into a much bigger poem. I still remember a musician, he said, in Hindustani music I'm talking about, in Carnatic it's different. In Hindustani he said, the tabalji can only keep the rhythm for me. It can only be dha din din da, dha din din da. He cannot play anything more because I'm creating. The musician is creating. And he says, when I stop creating, I allow the tabalji to perform, and he is performing that time. And that time I don't do qualities and I don't do tons. And that, he says, the same way like a railroad, the train, if the railroad was also running and the train was also running, he says, there won't be any journey at all. I again and again think of haiku. The two juxtaposed position, the things juxtaposed. One is almost stationary, we call it the fragment. I'll just quote Bashar's famous poem, The Old Pond. The frog jumps in the sound of water. Old pond is stationary. It creates a backdrop, it creates a scene for you to imagine the old pond. And then the action comes in. The frog jumps in the sound of water. That is a train moving. The railroad is firm. It holds the stationary image. And if you, all of us will be reading our poems, and then you can see, not always the fragment will be a stationary part, but generally it'll be spring breeze, it'll be autumn wind, or a dense fog. I have one which says, dense fog, the train evaporates into a distant horn. Rainforest, the lives I step on. If you see, rainforest is stationary. It creates a backdrop for you, and then the moment comes in. The lives I step on. So that is briefly the way we understand. Of course, once you get in, there's no ending to the learning process. It's like any art form. The more we step in, the more closer we go, the more distant is like a perfection, I always say. Perfection, seeking perfection is nonsensical because it's like the horizon. The closer you go, the further the horizon goes away. Okay? So, but still, it's not rocket science. 3 months, 4 months, you go at it. You can start writing good haiku. All of you, I'm telling all of you to join us and become haiku ethics, and it's possible. So I hope I don't want to take more of your time. I hope I've laid a general idea of what, and another thing, it is a concrete poem. It has no abstract images. So, and that is why I always take a dancer nowadays. I've been doing it for the last 15 years. The dancer, her strength is portraying the image. And as a haiku poet, we only deal with images. So two art forms coming together work wonders. Because ultimately what we give as two separate artists is you get a complete or wider picture as a viewer. And that's what we're going to do today. Okay? And we start off first with Vandana. Vandana is one of our brilliant poets. All the poets here from Chandigarh are excellent poets. And Vandana has been winning awards and doing so well. And she's also one of our editors for Haiku Katha. She's brilliant.
Thank you, Kala. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My grandfather was member of Rotary Club Ambala. So today I'm very happy, I'm humbled, and I'm honored to be here among you. Haiku is 4 centuries old form of Japanese poetry, and I'll complete half a century early next year. Wow. So it will be prudent to say that Haiku found me, and not the other way around. Haiku came into my life in 2015. I was undergoing a very rough phase in my life, emotionally, physically. I was dealing with health issues. I'd lost my father. And believe me, it's not an exaggeration when I say that Haiku healed me. Haiku changed my life, and Haiku changed the way I look at life. Haiku is, in true sense, we call it chota packet bada dhamaka. Because in just less than 17 syllables, you can portray any emotion a human being is capable of feeling. Love, loss, anger, longing, disgust, humor, anything you feel, you can express it in haiku, you just have to know the right words for it. And I feel that haiku compels us to view things, to pay attention to things which we generally take for granted. Or we normally don't pay attention to, we just tend to overlook them. But when you start writing haiku, you develop a haiku mind, you develop haiku eyes, and you start to look everything from a different perspective, through the haiku eyes. And when you start writing haiku, I feel that it's a form of meditation. You go into a trance. When I write haiku, I go into a kind of trance. So it's a form of meditation. It's an act of faith for everybody like us. For Kala, it's obsession. For us, it's an act of faith. And it's like a promise of wonderland. And today I would like to take you all for a test drive. But before that, it's said that haiku is as much a reader's poem as it is a poet's. So we generally tell you our experiences, you step in and make our poem your own. So I'll be reading a few of my haiku. Tanka, which is 5-line poetry, again a Japanese form of poetry. Started as love poems, but now we cover every topic in it. And a tanka prose, which is combination of short prose, because I cannot speak more, and then followed by tanka. Dad's funeral, how I wish he was a phoenix. Dad's funeral, how I wish he was a phoenix. Hunger strike. By the end of the day, hunger strikes. Hunger strike. By the end of the day, hunger strikes. Now, different perspective. Pouring rain. Every bucket has its own hole in the roof. Pouring rain. Every bucket has its own hole in the roof. Back from a funeral. Scrubbing dead cells off my face. Back from a funeral, scrubbing dead cells off my face. A million gods. We all need someone to blame. A million gods. We all need someone to blame. This one is my favorite. Burqa and yet catcalls. So in just 5 words, you can and yet cat calls. That first week, either the baby cries or I do. Every mother can relate to this. That first week, either the baby cries or I do. This one is very personal because this is based on actual experience. Gutting fish. My daughter says she doesn't want to be like me. Gutting fish. My daughter says she doesn't want to be like me. Bedtime prayers. Which time zone does God live in? Bedtime prayers. Which time zone does God live in? Now, on to Tanka. Trying to buy a few minutes of peace from my kids. For everything else, there is MasterCard. Trying to buy a few minutes of peace from my kids. For everything else, there is MasterCard. Shrinking for him ever so slowly. He still can't find the space he needs. Shrinking for him ever so slowly. He still can't find the space he needs. Now for the last one, I'll recite the Tanka prose and Mukta will perform on it. So Tanka prose is titled Blind Spot. It seemed like such a fun thought. Now, after all these years, the blank stares, the silence at the dining table, the lack of response, have I finally become invisible? Cracks on ice deepening with each step. Home is now not doors kept close. Cracks on ice deepening with each step. Home is now not doors kept closed. I'll recite it once more. The Tanka prose was called Blind Spot. As a child, I always wanted to be invisible. It seemed like such a fun thought. Now, after all these years, the blank stares, the silence at the dining table, the lack of response, have I finally become invisible? Cracks on ice deepening with each step. Home is now locked doors kept closed. Cracks on ice deepening with each step. Home is now not doors kept closed. Thank you so much.
We now go to Muskaan. Muskaan started around 5-6 years back, and she's doing very well. And I now call her over to the stage. Muskaan, you can come over.
A very good morning, everyone. I'm honored to be here with you all, along with my fellow haiku poets gathered here. Today, as I speak about haiku, I would like to say that my journey started around 7 years back. And for me, if you ask me, I would say haiku is beauty. It is simple, it is kind, it is gentle, and it has its own charm and glory. I would like to also mention Khalil Gibran here, who once said that beauty is like the tempest. It shakes the earth beneath you and the sky above you. And I couldn't agree more. I think this is exactly what haiku poetry does to all of us. When you see raindrops trickling down the window, it is haiku. When you feel the breeze and see the autumn leaves dancing, that is haiku. And if you closely watch the moon emerging from behind the clouds, you know what it is. So the spirit of haiku is all around us, and its spirit also speaks to our spirit. That's how I see it. Also, I would like to mention that I am very happily living in this world of haiku literature, haiku world, and I have an amazing community of haiku poets who I met on Facebook forum with the help of dear Arvinder ma'am and Kala, who really helped me to join these poets where we all workshop each other's poem, we give valuable feedback to each other, and we really have fun. Also, I would like to say that my only takeaway from my personal haiku journey is that consistency is the key. Growing up, I never thought that I could be a haiku poet. But here I am today, standing in front of you as a poet and as a haiku poet. So for me, I would say reading and writing haiku, it goes hand in hand. You can't miss one day. It's like breathing in and breathing out every moment and every single day. Lastly, I would like to say that Zindagi gulzar hai. Life is beautiful, and haiku unveils that beauty. Now, I would like to recite some of my poems for you. The first one is Temple Visit. The ants on the wall returning with prasad. Temple Visit. The ants on the wall returning with prasad. Hugging grandpa. The smell of camphor from the coat. Hugging grandpa. The smell of camphor from the coat. Full moon. Looking again through the kitchen window. Full moon, looking again through the kitchen window. Evening rain, half a cup of masala chai, half a cup of memories. Evening rain, half a cup of masala chai, half a cup of memories. Guests gone, the sad face of the cushions. Guests gone, the sad face of the cushions. And here goes my last one, on which dear Mukta would perform. Cherry blossoms. Cherry blossoms. What if what if the path cherry blossoms? What if the path has chosen me? Presentation, and I'm sure you all loved it. We now go to the next poet, Arvinder Kaur. Arvinder Kaur has been, this year has been a lucky year for her. She's been winning such awesome poems and she's got a lot of winning poems this year. Please come over, Arvinder. And very sensitive artist. Over to her.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
So, first of all, I must thank you all for coming here. I really admire your courage to come and listen to poetry. क्योंकि बचपन में हम सुनते थे कि कवियों को तो लोगों के शर्ट का बटन पकड़ के कविता सुनानी पड़ती है. तो and this is offbeat poetry. So thank you all for being here. At the outset, I must thank the Rotary Club, the president, everyone. I'm also thankful to Rachna Singh, who is editor-in-chief of the Wise Owl Literary Magazine, for organizing this event, and of course my dear friend Neena, and for organizing this whole thing and taking the lead of our honored guest who has come for the first time to City Beautiful. right? So we were told that we must talk about a bit about the haiku journey, how and why did we choose what we have chosen. I just put in a little bit here. I used to write since my college days, and that time I wrote small prose pieces in English, which were occasionally published as middle in the local newspapers, especially the Tribune. Gradually it happened, कहीं चलते हुए राह में ऐसा हुआ कि I came towards poetry. You know, कहते हैं कि जिंदगी जो है वो सबको कवि बना देती है, तो कहीं ना कहीं मुझे भी बना दिया. I started with writing long verses in Punjabi, because Punjabi is my mother tongue, and I felt that I owe a whole lot of debt to my mother tongue, right? So मैं Punjabi verses, long verses लिखती थी, and then I felt that you know, my long verses were losing force. That they were, by the end of it, they were not as forceful, as effective as I would want them to be. So that is the time I came across this Japanese genre on the internet, and I was strongly attracted to it, that if my long verses are suffering, maybe I can talk my heart out in this small verse. And I started reading about haiku, and I read a few books, ordered them from Amazon, then I read them on the internet. Then of course I met online, I met my mentor, Ramesh, and she is the one, I would say, who's the driving force behind Indian haiku. Now Indian haiku is shining bright on the world map. You know, there are people who are people in the West who are sitting up and taking note of poetry coming from India, right? And I'm thankful for her, to her for that. She has created websites where we all share our poetry, and we get feedback, and we change, and we do the workshopping. So that's how the whole journey started. And this particular journey, if I talk about my haiku journey, it's more than a dozen years. I started in 2010 with Punjabi again, because वो जो माँ बोली है वो everyone told me कि जो दिल दी हुक है वो माँ बोली च निकल ये, though my language of my profession is English. So it was destiny. I had to shift towards English. There was no other way, because that had become my idiom over the years. So that is how I started writing. और I would sum up by saying कि मैं अकेला ही चला था जानिबे मंजिल, मगर लोग साथ आते गए, कारवां बढ़ता गया. मैं कुछ छोटी छोटी कविताएं सुनाऊंगी. छोटी हम तो कोशिश करते हैं वो छोटी रहें, you know. So but as they say, and I hope it is true in the case of haiku, as it has been true in the case of so many wonderful poets, कि वो brevity is there, and it is not brief enough also to you know, take away the meaning or the image I hope I am able to convey, right? But they say dynamite comes in small packets, right? So that is how it is. मैं अपनी poetry में I try to address issues that are close to my heart, whether at that moment they are social or they are emotional, or you know, they are of this world, and I always I feel good if it connects to somebody. My experiences become universal if at all they do, right? So I will begin with haiku, then going on to danka, which is again a Japanese genre, but it is more emotional in nature, right? You can be as emotional as you want to, because maybe I'm a crybaby or whatever it is. That's how I reflect. They would reflect all these issues, my poems, and they would also reflect my beliefs, my faith, my philosophy of life, whatever. So the first one says, grey skies. Grey skies. Not everything in life is black and white. Grey skies. Not everything in life is black and white. This next one has won an honor in a very reputed contest of Japan. Bloodshot. Bloodshot. A reflection of this world in the dragonfly's eyes. Bloodshot. A reflection of this world in the dragonfly's eyes. And the next one I wrote the year my father passed away. Father's Day. Father's Day. The sky too a color of his turban. Father's Day. The sky too a color of his turban. Now this is 5 lines where I have tried to address something you will recognize what it is. A satchel on my shoulder. A satchel on my shoulder. A garbage bag on hers. The unanswered questions linger in our gaze. A satchel on my shoulder. A garbage bag on hers. The unanswered questions linger in our gaze. And I'm reading out now a tanka prose, a short one, because I already admire your patience. This is a prose. A tanka prose is a short prose piece, followed by or interspersed with tanka, which is 5 lines. And the title of it goes as Festive Fervor. Festive Fervor. It had the honor of being selected in Haiku Katha. So because I resort to these prose writing with poetry, because I feel there is a storyteller in me that keeps on simmering, not able to come out in full form, like so many of my friends are able to write fiction. I kind of tend to wander. So this is Festive Fervor. She's wearing her favorite Kanchipuram with gold borders, pallu draping gracefully down fragile shoulders. When I go in, she's sitting near the filigree window, reading The Tomb of Sand, a translation of Gitanjali Shri's Booker winner, Red Samadhi. On the side wall hangs an imprint of Damayanti talking to Swan. After her husband's passing, she has taken to reading voraciously. Forehead wrinkles glow in autumnal light. In the distant skies, a vermilion dot sinks into the ocean. Forehead wrinkles glow in autumnal light. In the distant skies, a vermilion dot sinks into the ocean. And I would read one Haiku to you, which is a small one that I wrote in the beginning. People tell me that, Haiku has evolved, it is not nostalgic, sometimes it is not memories, it is abstract. But I feel that it is such a short form और उसमें भी अगर आप abstract रख दोगे तो what are you giving to the reader? Yes, you have to be devoted to the form to read between the lines in the abstract, but for now I stick to a story form. This is the title of this Haiku goes. Haiku is again a short prose piece followed by a haiku. Like tanka prose was a short prose piece followed by a tanka, the previous one. Now this is a short prose piece followed by a haiku. The title goes like this. Legacies. A cobblestone street leads to my school. Come summer, and there are stories of my friends visiting their native places. I have never heard about any such place. Our parents just talk about gory details of massacres. Everyone gives evasive answers. My older siblings tell me, we are the children of storms. We belong to silence. We are the children of storms. We belong to silence. Bedtime stories, caressing the flowers on mother's quilt. Bedtime stories, caressing the flowers on mother's quilt. So I would test a bit more of your patience for those who can understand, because I will be doing a great disservice to my mother tongue if I don't present this particular haiku in Punjabi. So those who know, those who understand Kala, please excuse me for this, will know. So the title is Virsa. Virsa. मेरे स्कूल ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਪਥਰੀਲੀ ਸੜਕ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਜਿਉਂ ਹੀ ਗਰਮੀਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਛੁੱਟੀਆਂ ਹੋਣ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਫਰੈਂਡਸ ਪਿੰਡ ਜਾਣ ਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਵੀਰੇ, ਪਿੰਡ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ? ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਵੱਡੇ ਵੀਰ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ। ਮੇਰੇ ਵੀਰ ਬੈਠੇ ਨੇ ਇੱਥੇ। ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਵੱਡੇ ਵੀਰ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ, ਅਸੀਂ ਕਦੀ ਪਿੰਡ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਏ? ਅੰਮੀ ਤੇ ਬਾਪੂ ਕਦੇ ਪਿੰਡ ਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਬਸ ਕਤਲੇਆਮ ਬਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਹਨ। ਮੈਂ ਪੁੱਛਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਪਰ ਕੋਈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜਵਾਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੰਦਾ, ਬਸ ਟਾਲ ਮਟੋਲ ਹੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਵੀਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਤੂਫਾਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਾਏ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਚੁੱਪ ਦੇ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਤੋਂ ਆਏ ਹਾਂ। ਅਸੀਂ ਤੂਫਾਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਾਏ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਚੁੱਪ ਦੇ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਤੋਂ ਆਏ ਹਾਂ। ਪਰੀਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਹਾਣੀਆਂ ਅੰਮੀ ਦੀ ਰਜ਼ਾਈ ਤੇ ਸਹਿਲਾਉਂਦੀ ਫੁੱਲ। ਪਰੀਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਹਾਣੀਆਂ ਅੰਮੀ ਦੀ ਰਜ਼ਾਈ ਤੇ ਸਹਿਲਾਉਂਦੀ ਫੁੱਲ। So I am coming towards the end of my presentation, which is a Tarka Mudda. This is all. This tanka is dedicated to you all. Can I ever go away from you? Even the leaves that fall in fall rest near their tree. Can I ever go away from you? Even the leaves that fall in fall rest near their tree. Even the leaves that fall in fall rest near their tree. And I will come to the end of my presentation. तो हाइकू और तंका के फॉर्म में आपको हमने छोटे छोटे सितारे दिए हैं और ये कह के चलती हूँ कि सितारों को आँखों में महफूज रखना बहुत देर तक रात ही रात होगी। मुसाफिर हो तुम भी, मुसाफिर हैं हम भी, किसी मोड़ पे विदा।
I would love call upon Kashiana, Singh to come over. She's come all the way from America for this, to join us. And her parents are here. And she's a free verse poet, doing very well. And here's our, we're going to hear our haiku, a versatile poet.
Good morning, namaste. Thank you for having me, Neena ji, all my poets, Kala. This is a pilgrimage for me to meet Kala in flesh and blood and to meet all the other poets in flesh and blood. So I'm honored to be here. What does the haiku journey mean for me? Like Kala said, we are all poets, as we just heard. Zindagi sabko poet ya kavi bana deta hai. But to me, the haiku journey started 5 years ago, and it started with Kala. I came across her. And then COVID happened. So I would say haiku literally saved me during the COVID season. It also made me a better poet. So we say you're a haiku poet or you're a poet. But to me, haiku is about being a better human being. It's about being a better grandmother. It's about being a better person. It's about being a better professional. I often get asked to say, you are a poet and you are in the corporate industry. How do the two come together? But they don't need to come together, because when you do something like haiku, you are living above the daily experiences. And what Kala always talks about, the neti, 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 we are all on the journey of eliminating the ego and getting one with nature and each other. And haiku has allowed me to learn that. Obviously, we are making tiny, tiny steps towards that. But that's really what my haiku journey is. And thank you, Kala, for taking me there. I'll read a few. Again, I'm almost in awe of all these poets that just read before me, and Neena ji and Kala. So bear with me, and in all humility, standing on the same stage as Kala, I will bring my poets to you. Before I do that, since everybody is chosen to speak a little in Hindi or Punjabi, the word or the line that always resonates with me with regard to haiku is Chota kar de, dekh le, जीवन का विस्तार. छोटा करके देख ले जीवन का विस्तार. That's what we'll see. And my poetry is in Jeevan, right? It is about the situations that we all live with. The first one that I will read is, Neena ji, this is for you, and for Tripat. It's on my grandson's birth. Behind veiled sky, a newborn light unfurls, morning sutras.
Beautiful.
Behind veiled sky, a newborn light unfurls, morning sutras. The next one is about all of the war and the follies that we human beings cause for ourselves. Marigold leaves fall, rustling sounds of earth, battles alter. Marigold leaves fall, rustling sounds of earth, battles alter. A lot of women here, you will relate to this next one. It is a lot of us go through a health situation as women. Regal iris, a purple scar blooms on my uneven breast. Regal iris, a purple scar blooms on my uneven breast. The next one is about how we all sweat the small stuff instead of really focusing on the kernel of life, which is really what Haiku teaches us. And it goes as unsent letters, stacked in forgotten piles, a fawn chases dawn. Unsent letters, stacked in forgotten piles, a fawn chases dawn. And the next one is about the disease that we all try to fight but can never eliminate from our lives, and that's the disease of aging that we think we will eliminate, but it's not going to happen. Lotus leaves, dementia settling into veins. Lotus leaves, dementia settling into veins. A drifting moon, slow slipping away of your voice. Drifting moon, slow slipping away of your voice. This was translated in Hindi for a journal, so I'll read the Hindi version as well. I'll read that again. A drifting moon, slow slipping away of your voice. Behta chand, madhyam hoti आवाज तुम्हारी. Behta chand, madhyam hoti आवाज तुम्हारी. Kala, this one is for you. And this is Kala Senru, which was the first poem that I heard of Kala, and I'm an admirer and a fan since then. Deep in raga, a sudden applause startles the singer. Deep in raga, a sudden applause startles the singer.
Thank you.
And this one, because my parents are here, is for my mother. 50th birthday, stirring a rice pudding like my mother. 50th birthday, stirring a rice pudding like my mother. Mukta. This next one that dear Mukta is going to perform on is also for my mother. Winter breeze, I wear a shawl of memories. Winter breeze, I wear a shawl of memories. Thank you. Winter breeze, I wear a shawl of memories. Thank you. Thank you.
Such a beautiful presentation. And Mukta has said herself, excelled herself. Very good, Mukta. It was just the idea just last night. And she has just said it. And she told me this morning, don't wake me up for breakfast because I'm at sleepover. And so I'll come on my own downstairs for breakfast because she was working late with all this abhinaya and choreographing the poems. Excellent, excellent. Neena, what can I tell about Neena? I think the kindest and the most considerate, the most loving person we have, and most sincere and simple. I mean, I can keep on adding adjectives, and I know in haiku we don't add adjectives. But here is Neena. She's been writing. She's always a prolific writer and very good haiku poet. We're proud to have her, and thanks for organizing the Rotary meeting. All goes to her. Thank you.
What a beautiful day this is today. Good noon to the moonlight awakens her melody in my heart. Yet the moonlight awakens her memory in my heart. The measured glide of trumpeter swans, the measured glide of trumpeter swans, paired for life. Paired for life, we hold each other's hand to cross the road. The measured glide of trumpeter swans, paired for life, we hold each other's hand to cross the road. A small haiku, prose with haiku. The title is Memento Mori. Memento Mori. The black and white photo found in Papa's diary shows an unsmiling child of about 6, a book in her lap. I do not recognize myself in this photo. My childhood memories are grey, though some return through the stories told by my family members. My mother said I wouldn't eat my food unless a book was read to me. Who will read you stories when I die? She'd ask. Who will read you stories when I die? She'd ask. It seems she had a premonition. When I was 6, the stories stopped. Reading aloud to my puppy. Reading aloud to my puppy. Winter night. Reading aloud to my puppy. Winter night. Now the last one, on which dear Mugdha Asirkar from Pune will show her performance. This is written for a friend, a dear friend, whom I lost during COVID days. Dragonfly. Dragonfly. The friend who went without a goodbye. Dragonfly, the friend who went without a goodbye. Thank you very much.
And she's going to perform for two of my handlers. That will be my presentation. The labyrinth. Once a little girl bent down to ask a centipede, "Oh, 100-legged one, how do you remember which leg to move first?" The centipede was so perplexed, he stopped moving. Unmasked, in my mind, a dozen selves, each surprised at all the others. Labyrinth. Once a little girl bent down to ask the centipede, "Oh, 100-legged one, how do you remember which leg to move first?" The centipede was so perplexed, he stopped moving. Unmasked, in my mind. Unmasked, in my mind, a dozen selves. A dozen selves. Unmasked, in my mind, a dozen selves. Each surprised at all the others. He's surprised at all the others. Voice. Voice. The advances he makes are measured. The advances he makes are measured, as even a lioness wouldn't move half as stealthily towards her prey. The advances he makes are measured, as even a lioness wouldn't move half as stealthily towards her prey. His movements were gradual, allowing the young girl to get used to a few touches here and there. A plucked lily. The deeper murmurings go unheard. Plucked lily. The deeper murmurings go unheard. Voice. The advances he makes are measured, And even a lioness wouldn't move half as stealthily towards her prey. His movements are gradual, allowing the young girl to get used to a few touches here and there. To get used to a few touches here and there. That she didn't even think anything was amiss. A plucked lily. The deeper murmurings go unheard. The deeper murmurings go unheard. The deeper murmurings go unheard. Is a very difficult haiku because it portrays a woman and rape, and I asked her would she be able to do it. She said yes, I'll do it. We are running across over time, yeah. And the mic, can you one of you raise the mic? The human nature of human behavior. Okay, so we quickly.
Mic दे दो. अच्छा ये भी करना है. Just for on करती है. There is a call.
यहाँ पड़ा था mic. Okay. Green light. Green light. If only it was as easy to move on. Oh. Green light. If only it was as easy to move on.
Unsolved puzzle. Unsolved puzzle. Why do the hairs that fall be my grey ones? Unsolved puzzle. No, it's not. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's okay. It's okay. You can do it. We can do it. No, it's not. Yeah. Unsolved puzzle. Unsolved puzzle. Why can't the hairs that drop be my grey ones? It's clear.
Witching hour. I find my mother-in-law with a broom. Witching hour. I find my mother-in-law with a broom. That's why I hope she's not asking.
On that note, my daughter-in-law is here.
So actually we can make it all witching art. Women on the broom.
In today's horoscope, the color I dislike is lucky for the day.
Pet training. Pet training. My neighbor barks louder.
That's my
Meditation cushion. I journal every excuse to be unquiet. Meditation cushion. I journal every excuse to be unquiet.
And thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you.
Now, just say a few words of appreciation and gratitude.
Yeah.
And that means the sentence.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
One second. He'll say a few words of gratitude and stay.
Later.
We have little token
There's
for
this
you.
last one thing.
Yeah,
Most
I'm coming here.
Most puzzling.
Yeah.
No men haiku on the stage.
Lack of sensitivity and perception.
Only feminine.
Next time, Vijiji, we'll have a man.
I'll say something.
Maybe
Oh woman, I bow to you.
after the
Well, good afternoon, the distinguished guests, fellow Rotarians, haiku poets. It's indeed a different experience for me. In fact, I attended many musharas, happened to be part of that, but this type of experience I never had it out. I recollect it out in the past. There was an interview of mine going on in London, and the interviewer asked me, had you not been a lawyer, what you would have been? And I said, I would have been a shayar. हम शायर तो बन नहीं सके, but always have a high regard for those people जो शायरी करते हैं, the people who go in creativity, because I personally found it out that I never found any person who's a bad, who's a wicked, who's a shy.
Yeah.
Shayars are so nice human beings, you know. See, it teaches you to be a good human being, a good citizens, you know, believing in ethics, values, and they take up the present problems and they highlight it out and take the attention. But in today's, I'm so highly thankful to all the poets who are here. It's really indeed a good experience. The presentation by Muskaan Ahuja ma'am, Vandana Parashar ma'am, Madam Kashiana Singh, Madam Arvinder Kaur, and over and above, Kala ma'am, who has specially flown from Chennai to be a part of this. Yes. It wouldn't have been possible had our past president Neena Singh would have been here. It would have motivated us to organize such an event, took a lot of time, and made all this such a wonderful morning for all of us, you know. And I'm really thankful to the president who thought that like this type of event.
On the stage, actually, the micromanagement with the ladies is a great asset. So, haiku सुनते सुनते मैं भी कुछ हैकू हो गया। पहले तो मैं स्टार्टिंग में मुझे पूछते कि मैं तो हैकू को ये मतलब समझ रहा था है क्यों? तो अब तो मेरे को इससे हैकू सुन के ये आ गया ईगो है क्यों? ईगो है क्यों? Thank you. And with gratitude.
Yeah, I'll request President Jitendra to kindly give the gift of appreciation to Kala.
Thank you.
Hi, please.
Kala, your poetry was so moving, it was so painful, and every woman in a greater or lesser form has actually gone through it in life. You know, we always have these uncles and cousins, yeah, and neighbors.
Thank you
yeah,
so
all
much.
the time.
Okay. Next.
Muskaan, you were so positive in your explanation of the poetry.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Means a lot.
Awesome.
She's the youngest also.
Thank you.
Vandana, such beautiful perceptions. Beautiful perceptions.
Ma'am, please.
Kashiana. You know, it's all about, you just told us about life, living it, facing it, and rising above it. Beautiful.
Happy? Thank
Who am I writing this? First Arvinder. माँ बोली चीर के लाएगी वही चीज इंग्लिश में पोली पोली रह गई मुग्धा Absolutely. And of course, a very special. Neena is all love. And she carries all her achievements so lightly, that's her beauty.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
you.
Thank you so much.